Hey guys, welcome back to the Curly Reader. So today I thought I'd share with you a graphic novel library haul. So I really love reading graphic novels, but they're pretty expensive and I don't reread books very often, so I tend to get pretty much all of my graphic novels from the library. And I have been in a graphic novel mood lately, so I went to the library and I got a slew of them. These range all the way from middle grade to young adult to adult graphic novels. So I have a wide spectrum here. I thought I'd share with you what I found and what I've picked up, and let's get into it. All right, so the first one, I'm going to start with middle grade and kind of work my way up to adult. So the first one that I grabbed was Smile by Raina Telgemeier. Telgemeier? Probably should have looked that up before I started. This is really well known. My daughters have both read this, but this is Raina Telgemeier's memoir about her teeth and her life with braces and headgear and all of that growing up. And so she had a 4.5 year thing that she had going on with her braces. And so this just kind of teaches kids about perseverance and sticking up for yourself and not letting people make fun of you for things, and getting through the hard stuff when you're in middle school and high school. So this, grab that one. And then I also grabbed, this is kind of a fun one, I grabbed the first two editions of the Babysitters Club graphic novels. These are illustrated by Raina Telgemeier, but they are based off of Anna Martin's classic Babysitters Club books. I think there's 6 or 7 of these out now. I just grabbed the first two. I've already read the first one. I read it in a couple hours, maybe not even that. They're really fun. They're really cute. They make, I think, the Babysitters Club books from the 80s and 90s more relatable to the girls of today, and so these are a lot of fun. I also grabbed out of the middle grade section Making Friends by Kristen Gudsnook. This is about a little girl who is going into middle school and she's nervous about making new friends because all of her friends are in different classes now. And so she gets a magical notebook and realizes that whatever she draws in it comes to life. And so she draws herself a best friend. And so it says in it that the thing is, even when you create a best friend, there's no guarantee they'll always be your best friend. And so this sounded just fun. In the middle grade section, I also grabbed Zeta the Space Girl. This is by Ben Hatke. Ben Hatke also wrote the Mighty Jack series, and I've read 2 of those, and there's some crossover, I think, between Zeta and Mighty Jack, and so wanted to kind of get into these. These are some that my kids read too. They're very basic middle grade books, but they're just fun, and when I need something just to get me through for a little bit, these are just fun to read. So I grabbed that one. Out of the kids section, let's see, what else do I got? I also grabbed 5 Worlds, The Sand Warrior 1. Ooh, sorry, that was some glare. All right, 5 Worlds, The Sand Warrior number 1. This is a sci-fi kids adventure. There's an attack. There's these 3 kids. They all have to work together to save the universe, something along those lines. It looked fun and quick, and went ahead and grabbed that. Don't really know much else about it. I also grabbed Tom's Midnight Garden. This is it's a graphic adaptation of the Philippa Pierce classic. So this is based off of a novel. It's the graphic adaptation of it, but it's about a little boy who has to go live with his aunt and uncle, and he's bored out of his gourd, and so he notices that when the clock strikes midnight one night, it actually tolls 13 times instead of 12. So he goes downstairs and he opens the door, and there's a garden outside where, as during the day, it's just a sheet of concrete. So it's kind of like he's in this magical garden, and that's kind of what it's about. I've already read through this one. It was really fast. It was okay, but the illustrations are really pretty in it. I'm a sucker for good illustrations when, you know, you have a graphic novel. But it's just a fun short read. All right, so that's that one. I think that's all my middle grade stuff. I have a couple that were shelved in the teen section. The first one is Tomboy. This is by Liz Prince. It's a graphic memoir about her and how she was a tomboy and how growing up that wasn't always the easiest for her when she was in middle school and high school especially. And so, you know, and at the end it says, Liz Prince, Tomboy follows award-winning author and artist Liz Prince through her early years and explores with humor, honesty, and poignancy what it means to be a girl. And so I just thought that this would be almost like a diverse, I don't know, I'm a girl, but a diverse type read just to get somebody's perspective. I love graphic memoirs. I think they're great. So, all right. There's that. Another one that was shelved in the teen section. It's called The Other Side of the Wall. This is by Simon Schwartz. He was born in 1982 in East Germany, and after he was born, his parents decided that they wanted to leave East Germany, but they wouldn't let them. And so then it's kind of his parents dealing with the government after that, because they weren't very friendly to people who wanted to leave. So they just kind of, the secret police were constantly watching them, and they couldn't find work, and their dealings with communism and what made them reject that, and that sort of stuff. So it's a very short one, black and white, but interesting historical fiction type, almost, I don't know, memoir, but kind of a fun, not fun, that was not the right word, not fun, interesting, thought-provoking, we'll go with that, read. So I think the rest of these are adult. So the first one I grabbed is Saga Volume 1. I have not read this yet, and for someone who claims to love graphic novels and not have read Saga, at least one volume of Saga yet, I feel like I can't say that I like graphic novels if I haven't at least read one volume of Saga. So this is very well known. This is sci-fi. I think it's like two aliens from differing races have a baby, and they're not allowed to have a baby, and so the aftermath of that, I believe. It might not actually be about that at all. We'll find out when I read it. After that one, let's see what we got. We have March Book 1, and I probably should have grabbed all three of these because they're pretty short. This is a trilogy. It's a completed trilogy. But this is written by John Lewis, who is a congressman out of Georgia, but he was also a civil rights activist during the civil rights movement. And so this follows his story. And I've heard that this is phenomenal, and I'm really excited to read this. But yeah, it's just his story through the civil rights movement, and what that entailed. And yeah, so we'll see. This one I'm definitely getting to. All right. I also grabbed The Adventure Zone by Clint McElroy, Griffin McElroy, Justin McElroy, Travis McElroy, and Carrie Peach, maybe? There's a D20 die here. The fact that I know what that is, don't judge me. I hung out with the nerds back in my prime, so, but it's a gamer kind of fantasy, witches, goblins, that sort of stuff. But yeah, it's classic fantasy adventure. We'll see. We'll see if I get to it, but it might just be something fun. I can nerd out just like the best of them. All right. I also grabbed Something New, Tales from a Makeshift Bride by Lucy Nisley, maybe? This one just seemed different than anything else that was on the graphic novel shelf. Most of the time they're fantasy or sci-fi or something along those lines. This is when Lucy and her boyfriend broke up. She wondered if she would ever find love again. 3 years later, she did when he returned and walked into her life and proposed. This is not that story. This is the story of the happily ever aftermath, the wedding. So this is just kind of the catastrophe that was the wedding and the story of that. And so that sounded just like a loads of fun. And then the last one that I grabbed off of a recommendation from Jessie the Reader. And this is The Sculptor by Scott McCloud. This is a chunker of a book. And this is about a sculptor who makes a deal with death so that he can sculpt anything he wants. And he gives his life for his art. And it's blurbed by Neil Gaiman. It says this is the best graphic novel I've read in years. That's enough for me. So, all right. But yeah, I'm excited for this. If Jessie liked it, you can't go wrong with a Jessie recommendation. All right, so that's it. Those are all the graphic novels I got. We'll see how many of these I actually get to. Pretty notorious for checking out way more books than I can actually read in the allotted time from the library. So hopefully I get to some of these. If you have read any of these and would recommend them, please comment down below and let me know which ones I should read first, because I'm excited to get into some of these. I haven't read a lot of graphic novels in the past few months, and so May might be my graphic novel month, but we'll see. All right, I hope that you enjoyed this. I hope that you stick around and subscribe, and until next time, see ya.